Alrighty, welcome everybody. It's Tuesday night and I hope you guys are ready for some fun cards tonight. If you're new to my channel, my name is Julie Brown. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and my business is called Julie's Creative Stamping. So welcome. Just a little bit of housekeeping. So if you're new to Facebook Lives, you can always comment in the comments. You can type in your name, let me know you're here. And if you have any questions or any comments while I'm doing this demonstration, you can stick those in there. So let me take care of the rest of the housekeeping and then we can get started with the cards. So for those of you that are going to be placing orders through me this month, which if you don't have a demonstrator, love to have you place orders through me. Please use the following hostess code listed there. You can order through me at juliebrown.stampinup.net. My email is juliescreativestamping@gmail.com. I have a Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram page all called Julie's Creative Stamping. I have a YouTube channel at which I usually, from these lives, I upload all of these lives onto my YouTube channel. But that one you have to type in juliebrown.Julie's Creative Stamping. And then my blog is juliescreativestamping.com. Again, you guys know I've been working on this for months. It is still under construction, but I have been adding some blogs to it. So yay, I at least have the blog part of it up and running. The rest of it will be coming soon. Yeah, to a theater near you. No, just kidding. Alrighty, so let's look at what we're going to be working with tonight. We are going to be working with the Boughs of Holly Suite, but I'm doing a fusion, which means that I'm bringing in some other stamp sets to work with this. Because I just have, there was some stamps that I wanted for my designs to work. And so I felt like I needed to bring them in. So what is included in this suite? Let me click on that. So it comes with this Leaves of Holly stamp set, and it is photopolymer. And then it comes with the Holly Berry dies. It comes with these really fun wood, what are they calling these? The textural elements. It comes with this, it's kind of a crumb cake. Hey, Shanine. And it's kind of like a mesh ribbon. And then it comes with all of this beautiful paper. I really love the paper in this set. And the main reason is, I'm going to show you a couple of them. I mean, obviously some of them are definitely like Christmas, but then the other sides of these, so like the other side of this one is really cool and it doesn't have to be for Christmas. Same thing with, I think this one is the same. So that doesn't have to be a Christmas either. And then like, here's the one side and this is the other side. So I really I mean, you could use it for Christmas, but I loved that they actually designed this designer series paper so that one side is kind of Christmassy and then the other side can be used for anything. So absolutely loved that Stampin' Up! Did that with the Boughs of Holly designer series paper. All right, let me get this out of the way and bring in the first card and my scrap paper. Hey, Susie. Hey, Shanine. So glad you guys are here. Okay, so I decided that I wanted to do a fall card with this set. So my first one is going to be a fall card. And so we're bringing in this stamp set, but let me show you the other stamp set. So I wanted to bring in this Merriest Moments, and I'll show you the reason why is because I love these kinds of little stamps with the little dots on it. And unfortunately the Leaves of Holly didn't have it. So I pulled this one in and I used a lot of these sentiments as well. But I just felt like that was a really good pairing with these two cards. Okay, so the other cool thing about this set, so if you're not familiar with two-step stamping, this is definitely a two-step stamping stamp set. And so I'm going to show you how I do it. Everybody does it a little bit different, but this one is probably the hardest one that I've dealt with as far as telling which one's the more detailed one. And let me see if I can get it close enough. So can you kind of see the detail in that stamp? So this would be the more detailed stamp. And then this is the solid stamp. See how it doesn't have as much detail in it? And so I usually, usually, will stamp my detailed stamp with my darker color, and then my solid stamp with my lighter color. So for this first leaf, I'm going to be using Blackberry Bliss, and I was going to re-ink these and I didn't, so let's hope I can get through this. And then for my lighter color, I'm using Merry Merlot. So this is the more detailed stamp. So I'm going to ink this up. You can see how it's kind of sticking to, do you see how my pad's kind of coming up off the table? And that's because it needs to be re-inked. It's getting a little bit dry. So I'm going to kind of come in at this angle here. And we're going to push that down like so. All right, and it looks like that. Then I'm going to come in with this solid one and ink it up with the Merry Merlot. And oh my gosh, I needed to re-ink these. Let's hope I can get through this tonight. And then with two-step stamping, the reason I like to use the more detailed one first is because for me, it's easier to then line it up. And you'll notice, usually when I tell you guys to stamp, I tell you go straight down and straight back up. When I'm doing my two-step stamping, I line up one side and then I kind of fold it down with the stamp so that it looks like that. So see, let me bring that closer. Isn't that pretty? Love it. All right, let me clean these. And then I'm going to bring in, so this one has two different sizes of leaves. This was the larger. And then for the rest of this, I'm going to be using the smaller leaf. So let me set these out of the way. And again, it's going to be two-step stamping the whole way. So I'm going to leave these colors open because I come back to these colors. So my next combination is going to be Cajun Craze. Oh, I should re-ink. You know what? I will do that at the end because if I re-ink now, it's going to be, one's going to be way darker than the other one. So, and yeah, because I think I already re-inked one of them. But yeah, good thing, Susie. Yeah, good point. So I'm going to ink it up with Cajun Craze. And then I'm going to kind of come in right here and lay that one down. And then I'm going to come in with Pumpkin Pie. Unfortunately, my re-inkers are not right here next to me, so I would actually have to go. I've moved them. They used to be right here next to me, but I have rearranged. All right, so there's that combination. Let me bring it closer so you can see it. So there's another combination. And so we're going to clean those because my next combination is going to be Pumpkin Pie and Crushed Curry. Again, I wanted to show you guys because again, we look at these, we look at, because let me show you this. So in the catalog, it's all about Christmas, right? It's showing everything like pretty much Christmas. And so I really wanted to show you guys, again, about thinking outside the box and don't getting stuck when you see a Christmas stamp set, thinking that the only thing you can do with it is Christmas. So for this one, I'm going to use the Pumpkin Pie with the more detailed image. And this one's going to go up here. And then we're going to come in with the Crushed Curry. And again, I try to get it lined up on, I find my line up point and then I roll it down. I don't just stamp straight down. I know, isn't it, Shanine? This is a gorgeous stamp set. Okay, so there's the Pumpkin Pie and the Crushed Curry. And then I'm going to do two more with this small one with the Merry Merlot and the Blackberry Bliss. Okay, so I'm going to do the Blackberry Bliss. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this twice because I need one here and I kind of need one in this corner here. And you'll see I'm just, you know, I'm not getting a lot of it on there. I'm just getting a little bit, but now I'm going to come in with the Mary Merlot and we're going to fill this in. Maybe. I try to go slow when I'm doing this because I will say this, your two-step stamping, that is something, oh my gosh, I touched my page. Dang it, I do that every time. That's all right. I think I'll be able to cover it. The one thing about two-step stamping that we all kind of need to remember is that you need to kind of take your time. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where, I guess it was right there. You want to take your time to get it lined up. This is not, the two-step stamping is not the stamping that you want to do in a hurry. You want to be able to get things lined up properly and not be in a rush, because then you're going to be mad at yourself because it didn't stamp the way that you wanted it to stamp. Okay, so I think I'm done with most of these colors, so let me get them out of the way. And grab that one. And grab this one. It's like, I use so many colors on this one. All right, so then the next color I'm going to bring in is Mossy Meadow. And then I'm actually bringing in this little leaf stamp, and this came from that. So I'm using this stamp and this stamp, and then of course some of the sentiments from the Merriest Moments, and that's this one right here. So this was the one that I felt like fused the best, because I call it a fusion when I combine two different stamp sets, and I thought these two went together really well. So I'm just going to come in and I'm going to add some leaves with the Mossy Meadow. I'm trying not to touch this that much since I did really good at messing this up there. Okay, so that's what it's looking like so far. I think I want to add another leaf right there. Okay, so we're bringing in the Mossy Meadow like so. And then what I'm going to do is bring in those little dots. I don't know why I love those types of stamps. We used to have a stamp set called Gorgeous Grunge, I think it was. It was like my favorite. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Okay, so now I'm going to come back in with, I think I used Mary Merlot for this. So now I'm going to come back in and we're going to try to cover my little mistake right here. And we're going to come in with these dots. And we're just going to kind of set these in different places on this. And I'm just kind of looking at it and saying, okay, where do I think that these should be? And then I'm going to kind of turn it around and I want to kind of hit this edge down here a little bit. Okay, so there we go. So what do you guys think? Do you like it? Do you like the fall colors? How many of you would have thought to do fall colors with this stamp set? So again, you know, when we get these stamp sets, we've got to really think about, gosh, could I use that for something else? And we could, because I do want to show you something. So this stamp set also has these little berries. Well, if you were to stamp this and draw in little stems, this would look like apples. So think about that, right? I didn't do it on here, but you could turn those berries into apples. I know, mind blown, right? And then I did bring in, I wanted to use the Charming Sentiments stamp set as well, because this one kind of had the fall sentiments on it. And all of these stamp sets that I'm showing you are actually part of a bundle, because this is one of the really cool sentiment stamp sets, because it does come with dies that you can cut out all of these sentiments. So really cool set. All right, so for this one I wanted to use the thank you, and I wanted to use the Blackberry Bliss. So we're gonna ink that up. Then I'm gonna try to put this where it's straight. Of course, my paper has to be straight. And I'm actually going to stamp this twice because I wanted to say thank you, thank you. Again, sometimes we don't think about stamping our sentiments twice, but I thought that looked kind of cool with this one. I'm gonna leave that there because I'm gonna do what Susie said and show you guys how I re-ink my stamp sets in just a second. But let me finish up this card. And then I'm using a Blackberry Bliss base. And of course I'm going to bring in my bone folder. Now Stampin' Up does sell bone folders, but this is kind of my like blingy. This is my blingy one that I have. And so usually lately when I've been doing simple stamping for you guys, I'm doing an entire background. But I wanted to show you how you could just do simple stamping and still make a really cute card and add a sentiment, and you don't have to create like an entire background. So that was my purpose for this card tonight. And then I already did the inside, and so pretty much just did the same thing. And I used that Beyond Grateful from that Charming Sentiment stamp set. And then this is just going to pop on the inside. And card one is done. What do you guys think? And of course you guys could add embellishments, you know, you could add some gems and stuff to it. But again, I'm trying to show you simple stamping with just using ink and cardstock. And so I hope you guys like it. Here's my fall version of that card. And there's the inside. And so I did do a Christmas version, and I want to show you that just so you can see how just changing ink changes the whole thing. So here's my Christmas version of that card. What do you guys think? And then there's the inside. So see how it's basically the same type. I mean, I changed it up a little bit, but I was able to do both. So let me go grab the re-inker and I'll show you how to do that. Hold on one second. I actually thought I had that color sitting over here, but I didn't see it. So let me see if I can find my Blackberry Bliss. I have two Rich Razzleberries in here. Oh, nope, that's Rich Razzleberry. Okay. All right, so I hope you guys like these. But guys, that's just stamping. All that is stamping. Right? So do you guys like the fall version? I'm not hearing a yes or no. I hate it. I love it. Yeah, it's versatile stamping. Okay, so when I re-ink, I just take my re-inker and I just kind of do a swirly. And I do tend to kind of put a little more of the re-inker in the middle because that's kind of where we tend to try to ink up our stamps. And then you can use a spoon, but I have this little Cricut tool. And then I just take this and I just kind of like push down. I'm pushing down very lightly. And that's all it takes to re-ink that. Okay, and then it's all nice and smooth, and it's going to be like super dark. So one thing I will suggest to you is that if you start a card and you didn't re-ink, finish it not re-inking, because this will be much darker now when I stamp with that. So just a little note on that. All right, let me get all this stuff that I just moved over here out of the way. Okay, so now we're ready for card number 2. And so with card number 2, we're going to step it up. We're going to do a casual card. And that means, so for those of you that are new, so the simple stamping is just ink, cardstock, stamping. So with this one, we're going to bring in some designer series paper. We're going to do like a little bit of die cutting, a little bit of layering, but not much. I had a class just recently this week where we did die cutting and layering, and a lot of my ladies said, wow, you know, I'm not sure if I like the, you know, if I want to be an avid stamper. Because avid, it does take a little more effort to put the card together. Okay, so for this card, I'm doing it with the Real Red, and then I'm bringing in this designer series paper. So that paper has large poinsettias, and then this is the smaller of the poinsettias. And I'm actually going to just put that right on there. Or actually, I'm sorry, that's not right. I'm going to put it on this white piece, but before I do that, I'm going to be doing some stamping with some shaded spruce. And so for this one, again, I brought in one of those stamps from the what's it called? This one, Merriest Moments. I'm using a couple of stamps from that. That's my fusion today, is we're using that one along with this one. And so I'm using this pine bough, and I'm going to stamp it on this end down here, and because I'm going to have a piece of paper up here. But then I want it kind of at different, I don't want it all like down and long. So I'm doing it at different heights right there. Okay. Then I'm going to come in with Real Red, and I'm going to use that little speckled stamp again because I love it. You guys are going to get to see this one a lot tonight. Okay, and then I'm just going to kind of bring this in just a couple places here. And I'm not even sure if we'll be able to see this one up here because that might be covered. But I just wanted it a couple places there. Let me clean this one. I guess I need to clean the other one too. So again, those are from that Merriest Moments. And that one has a beautiful, it's got one of the hybrid dies and with that come with that one. Then I'm going to take the designer series paper, and we're just going to put some Stampin' Seal Plus. Oh, Janet, thank you. I'm glad you think my ideas are cute. It's kind of funny because when you're designing, sometimes you don't always think they're cute. and that's kind of a tip for you guys too, because sometimes I'll design a card and I'm not really liking it, and so I walk away from my desk. I'll walk away from my desk, I'll go do some laundry, I'll go do something, and then I come back to see, do I really like it? Because sometimes you get so involved in the creative process and you look at it and you're not sure whether you like it. And most of the times when I come back, I do like what I've created. It's just for some reason, it just wasn't really speaking to me when I first did it. So then we're going to take this and we're going to matte it with a piece of Real Red. And then I'm going to bring in a strip here. And I'm bringing in, which one? It's this one. It's Season's Greetings. And this, again, is from that Merriest Moments one. And we're going to stamp this one onto this. I mean, how many of you guys have these 1/2 inch white strips? I think all of us get a ton of these. So you need to remember to use them when you're designing cards. Like, go grab it and figure out a way to put it on a card, because I have so many of these. All right, and then again, I'm going to stamp this twice. And I don't know if I got that. Okay, sorry, we're going to turn it over. Let me start on this side. I didn't do what I always tell you guys. Go straight down, straight back up. And a little bit of pressure when you push down. Okay, there we go. And so I kind of wanted something to break up the middle of this. And so what I did is I brought in my Shaded Spruce Stamp and Write marker. And I just used the pen tip. And I just put a little circle like that. And that just kind of breaks it up a little bit. For me anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to put this, I'm using the thick basic white. Now, just as a note, we have both regular basic white and thick basic white. When I'm doing a card base, I always use the thick basic white. So I'm going to go ahead and mount this on here so I can start building my creation. Now again, this is like a casual stamper. So we're bringing in designer series paper, and I'm probably stepping it up a little more than casual because I am bringing some die cuts and we're doing some layers and, you know, all the fun stuff. And then what I did earlier was I stamped this. So what I did this time is, because I didn't really have a color that went with Shaded Spruce, I stamped the detailed stamp in Shaded Spruce. I inked it up, stamped it. Then I inked up the solid one and I stamped off and then put it on there, and see how it gave it a lighter Shaded Spruce. So always remember, if you're trying to match up a green and you're wanting a lighter version, that you just ink it up, you stamp it off on your paper, and then you can ink it. And I did the same thing with the little berries. So those I've already cut. I cut and I did all of this earlier. Okay, now I need my Stampin' Dimensionals, which of course I had sitting right here, and they have wandered off. Yes. I don't know about your guys' stuff, but my stuff leaves all the time. It just kind of takes a walk. Does that happen to anybody else, or is it just me? It's like I literally know I'm like, I had it right there and now it's gone. So I sometimes think I'm the only one that happens to. All right, so then we're just going to take these off. And I want you to think of this card that I'm doing now, if I had done this with fall colors, fall paper, right? Same layout, and the cards look completely different because it's a different season. I'm going to try to get this centered, but I didn't do so great the first time, so we'll see. So I'm just going to kind of layer those like so. Then I'm going to come in with my Season's Greetings. And of course, that's the part, this was the side that I messed up. So I'm going to come in again with, whoops, I left the dimensional over there, with dimensionals. But I'm only going to put dimensionals like up to where I don't want to have dimensionals where it's going to touch these limbs right here. So I'll put one there. I'll put one right there. And I'll put one right here, if it will actually come up. All right. So then I'm just going to turn this over, and we're going to, this is supposed to be the, yeah, there we go. So I can see that I can see a couple of my little limbs there. So I'm just going to trim those because I don't want those to be seen. And then I'm going to line this up to actually the matte, the matte, the real red matte. So that's going to go across like so. So it kind of almost looks like a ribbon, right? Kind of looks like a ribbon. And then I'm going to bring in my little berries, and we're going to use some liquid glue. And we're going to stick these berries on here. And I'm just going to kind of angle them so that they just touch that label up there. Alrighty, so I'm going to finish this in just a second. But for the inside, I've already stamped that. So basically, isn't this a fun font? That's from that Merriest Moments. But I really like that. It says, thinking of you this festive season. So really, really like it. So we're just going to, I'm going to mat that. You don't have to mat it on the thick basic white. But I just think it looks better when you mat it. So I tend to always kind of mat mine. I don't always do that, but especially if you're going to ever be using Stampin' Blends, remember those are our alcohol-based markers and they bleed through. So you will always have to mat it, because you wouldn't be able to color directly onto the back of this. All right, and then I'm just going to finish it up with some of our red rhinestones. We're just going to stick a couple of these. Of course, I'm using my take your pick tool. You guys all know this is like my right-hand man. It's like, I love it. I love it a lot. And put one there. And we'll put one here. And we'll put one up there. All right, so guys, card 2 is done. What do you think? Do you like it? Every time you buy sentiments, more pretty ones come out. I know, Shanine. You know me, I love sentiments. So I struggle with that a lot. So do you guys like this one? So this would be a casual one because we did bring in some die cutting. We did bring in, but we didn't like layer a lot. That is the biggest difference between casual and avid. We're going to be still doing a lot of the same stuff. But with our avid one, which is next, we're going to really be doing a lot of layering. And there's the inside of that one. All right. So card 2 done. All right. So let's bring in card 3. I've got lots of pieces on this one. Because, you know, it's the avid card. Oh, you know what? I don't think I cut my designer series paper. I didn't, silly me. Okay, so you guys get to see me cut paper. I was like, what am I missing? I know. Okay, so I wanted to use this design, so I'm going to cut it. So what I do when I have a 12 by 12 sheet, I cut it in 4s. So I go across and I cut 4, 4, 4. This had another 4 over here. And then I just turn it and get my, that was 4, I hope. Yeah. Then I turn it and I get my 5 1/4. So, I do, sometimes I will get my 12 by 12 if I'm not going to be using it for a scrapbook page, and I will cut it down so that it's ready to go. And then let me see what my other, let me grab my other piece that I need, that I wanted to use for this one. I thought I had some more pieces, but I know I did. I just don't know what I did with them, but this will work. Okay, so in this case, I need a 3 by 4. So again, I'm going to cut my 4, right? And then I'm going to turn and I'm gonna cut me a 3 because I needed a 3x4 for this piece. So you can see that if I have them all cut, like even 4x5 1/4, I can still get my 3x4 out of one of those pieces. Okay, I think everything else is good. I don't know what I was thinking. Isn't that funny when you think you have everything under control and then no, you don't. Okay. All right, so for this one, we're gonna do a lot of layering. I'm actually gonna go ahead and stamp the inside of this one first and get it done first so that we can focus on the layering. So I'm gonna bring this in, and this time I'm using Evening Evergreen. So I'm gonna get to show you how, I could have used soft suede because it does go with it, but I didn't want to. I just wanted to use this one ink. So now I'm gonna show you how to do that 2-step stamping using the same ink. So I'm going to lay that one down. Then I'm going to bring in the solid one. And I'm stamping off. And then I'm going to, actually, let me redo that because I didn't get a good stamp off. And then I'm going to add it to that. So you see how I got 2 different shades by just stamping off. Ta-da! So I wanted to show you guys how to do that. Let me clean these. And you can see that these are photopolymer, and they do get stained, especially like you can see these are stained because I've used a lot of the reds. I've used a lot of the colors that have red in them, and because of that, it does stain them, but it doesn't, like you've seen me, so you saw how red this was, and I just used Evening Evergreen, and there's no red tint in that. So as long as you clean them, and I'm just using my chamois to clean them, oh my gosh, me and touching stuff. So now I'm gonna have to fix that one. Okay. So now I'm going to come in with Thinking of You, and we're going to ink this up. This time I'm using Cherry Cobbler and the Evening Evergreen. So I've kind of changed what I'm using this time. Okay, so we got that there. I've got to fix this. Sorry guys, you're going to have to watch me do one more. Oh, I still needed that. Whoopsie. Okay. I'm getting stuff all over me. Ah! Me and my stamping. So because I did this over here where I touched it, this is the cool thing, guys, that I love about stamping is you can mess up and you can fix it, right? So I'm going to come in with the smaller one, and we're going to do where I'm going to put a leaf over here as well. Might as well to cover that mess up. Let's see if I can keep my fingers off of this once I do that. So I'm just going to come in with that, and we're going to fix that. Don't you guys love that you can just fix all these little mistakes like that? So then I'm inking up the solid one, stamping off, and then coming in and stamping. And voila, my little boo-boo is gone, right? So you guys don't ever have to be afraid of just stamping. And you guys have seen me mess up twice tonight, and I was able to cover it both times. So always remember that. I think sometimes we tend to get a little frustrated with ourselves when we feel like we make those mistakes. And I'll tell you what, anytime I'm using white, I already know I'm going to touch it somewhere. So now I'm bringing in that little dot again. And I'm just going to put one there. And then I'm going to put one here. And then I'm going to go over to this side And we're going to add it right there. Voila! Actually, this looks prettier than my original one. See, sometimes the boo-boos turn out to look better. So yay. Too funny. All right. Now I will say that when you're, another kind of note here, or a little tip is when you're stamping off like this, you need to be careful about like turning this over and stamping, because some of this could still be wet. And so I'm always going to kind of move around and make sure that I'm not laying it into that. So, I mean, sometimes it looks like it's dried, but it's not dry, especially if you've just re-inked. Then you can cause yourselves to have a few more boo-boos. All right, so this is going to be the inside of our card. And like I said, I like this one better than my original. Let me just get that lined up. Okay, so now we're going to work on the front. Okay, so on the front of this, we're just going to start layering designer series paper, and then I already did a lot of the dies. So again, I want to show you this die set because what's cool about this die set, it's got 2 labels, and then it has these detailed ones. This is detailed, this is one, and then it has like the darker color. Now, a lot of people got confused about this piece right here. This piece cuts out and it fits behind, and I'll show you that. It fits behind this piece, and you'll see that in just a second. But when this first came out, a lot of people could not figure out what the heck that piece was for in this die set. But this is just a really fun die set. Okay, so we're going to lay this down. And then we're going to bring in that 3x4 piece that I did. And even this side would look good. But I wanted the more floral pattern on the front. All right, so now we're going to bring this in and try to get that centered and straight. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So here's my label. And I'm going to bring in one of my silicone mats because I'm going to be doing some gluing. So this is the label, and then this is that die I was telling you about. So you can imagine when you cut this out, you were like, what the heck is that for? Basically, it just fits behind this. See how that works? Ta-da! Okay, so let me get my glue. And so I can get that placed where it needs to go. And this is just our Tombow liquid glue in here. I've just put it in this little container because it gives me a finer tip. And I like that better. Okay, so then this just fits like so. And then I'll turn it over. See? Oops, dadgummit. It didn't want to glue. I didn't give it long enough. Remember, with our Tombow glue, you do need to, about 10 seconds. I think I gave it about 3. But see how that, you can put that behind that and it gives it some spoofiness, right? We're spoofing it up. Or spiffing it up, I guess is the word. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more glue. I want to make sure I get these little corners, and so I'm going to use this fine tip one for this. And then I'm going to bring in my regular, like Tombow glue. This is what it looks like when you get it. And get glue on all of that. Then we're just going to flip this over. Going to move that out of the way so I don't have glue on the inside of my card. And then we're going to put this about right there. Isn't this a pretty label, guys? I really like this label. It's so pretty. Okay, so now I'm gonna kind of start building. And so I used our distressed gold. I'm gonna put all the pieces here so you can see. So I cut out a bunch of these little tiny pieces, and I did it in shaded spruce and evening evergreen, and the distressed gold is what I did. So we've got all of these little pieces, and we're just gonna start building how we want this to look. And so I'm gonna start with my shaded spruce. Oh, let me bring in that silicone mat again. And I'm just gonna be adding glue. And again, anytime you're layering, your bottom layers don't need as much glue as you would think, because you're putting stuff on top of it. So, and then I'm going to come in with the smaller of the evening evergreens. Or maybe not, yeah. And just a little bit of glue there. And I'm going to make sure that this kind of sticks up way up here. And then I'm going to come in with the larger of the distressed golds. And we're going to add this one. Again, I want it to kind of stick up. So it's going to be right there. I'm trying to give it 10 seconds, but I'm also trying to go a little bit faster so this doesn't take all night. And then I'm going to come in with our smaller shaded spruce. And I'm going to have it kind of sticking out over here. And then we're going to have our other distressed gold. And I'm calling it distressed gold because that's what the paper is called that I cut this out of. And that's going to stick up right there. And again, this is our Avid card. So, I'm glad it's putting you in the Christmas mood. Yay! I've been trying to get in the Christmas mood myself. Hasn't been working exactly right, but... And then we're gonna color in. So remember these little wood pieces that were part of that suite? So I'm gonna bring these in, and I am going to grab my cherry cobbler, dark cherry cobbler blend, and we're gonna color in the little berries with the cherry cobbler blends. And the reason you want to use the blends is because they are alcohol based and it will dry quicker. Doesn't that look cute colored? How cute is that? And so now we're going to just do this one. And you see how quick this, this goes to like be able to color these. Now you can leave it just in the wood because it looks good with just this would have looked good with not coloring it in too. It would have looked good both ways. But I wanted to show you guys how you could color those in. Okay, Susie. So Susie did not like this one when she first saw it. And then she went to one of my team members' Christmas in July class where she used it. And Susie is now a lover of this set. Doesn't that happen a lot though? I think, sometimes it's just really hard to imagine when you see it in the catalog what you can do with it. It really is kind of hard. So we're going to stick this down, and I am going to need to hold this for a hot second. I'm probably getting cherry cobbler all over my fingers, so I will need to make sure I wipe my fingers. All right, and then same thing, I'm just going to put it on the little berries, the liquid glue. Now you could use mini glue dots as well. Those would work just as well to secure this down. And probably would have been a little quicker. now that I'm thinking about it. All right, so I'm just going to kind of let that set for just a hot second, and we're going to add the, so the cool thing about these dies is, remember I told you it has like a detailed and a solid. So here's like the detailed of the smaller leaf, and then this is the detailed of the little berries. And so we're going to add these to the solid while we're letting that wood dry in place. So let me just, again, get some glue going here. So yeah, you know, that happens to me a lot where I look at some sets and, you know, and they don't really excite me in the catalog, but then I see people make things with them and I'm like, oh, you know what? I really like that set. Sometimes we don't want that though, right? We don't want to figure out that we like another set because, you know, then we might have to have that one too. All right, so I'm gonna kind of let that sit for just a second. I'm getting a lot of glue on my hands, so I'm wiping them with my baby wipes. You'll learn to have baby wipes in your stamping station. It's kind of a must. Then we're going to flip this over and we're going to add this detailed piece to the berries. So see how cool that looks with the detail on it? Fun, huh? Okay, and then I took, remember the ribbon I showed you that comes with this, and I colored this with the Cherry Cobbler blend. And I'm just going to run a strip, roll it just like that. And I kind of want this to go that far. So I'm going to lay that down like so. And I'm actually going to trim this side because I don't want this much over here. Okay. So that's going to be like that. Then I am going to bring in, I'm telling you, we are layering, layering, layering tonight. So then I'm going to bring in some of this Simply Elegant trim. And I'm just going to cut me a couple of little pieces here. So there's a piece. And there's a small piece. And then what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to adhere these to the back of this one leaf with our mini glue dots. So I'm just going to kind of stick a line of 3 glue dots here, because then that's going to allow me to form the shape that I want. So I've got 3 little glue dots going down. Then I'm going to kind of turn it this way. So what I want to do is I want to like combine this together here, and then I just want to catch it in at least one side in this glue dot, and then the other side in the glue dot. So we've got it so that it looks like that. Can you see that? And then I'm just going to kind of go off the other edge with that other piece, doing the exact same thing. I'm just going to catch it in this middle glue dot, and then I'm going to kind of form my shape and then stick it right there with that glue dot. So then it looks like this. Yeah, you're right, Susie. This DSP is perfect for people who don't have all the colors of inks, because you can use, because this actually, it has evening evergreen, soft succulent, and shaded spruce, and even kind of an old olive. Like, yeah, any greens work with this one. So it really is. They did a really good job with this set. Okay, so now I'm going to take my dimensionals. And we're going to put one up here. And we're going to put one down here. And I'm even going to, I keep pulling the tops off. And I'm even going to kind of catch that ribbon with one of those dimensionals. And then I'm just going to take this and it's going to, oh, sorry. This is the one because of the height of this. And let me just see. I think that, yeah. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen me do this. I'm going to double up on my dimensionals. So I'm going to like put one on top of the other. So it actually doubles it up so that actually it will straddle this wood piece without kind of bending over the top of it, if that makes sense. So I actually, did you guys see how I did that? I doubled up on those dimensionals. And now I'm just going to take this piece and it's going to lay just like so. And then I did this ahead of time. I actually used, and I heat embossed this. And so I used Versamark ink, which is a clear sticky ink, and then I poured white embossing powder and heated it up. Now the issue was I didn't realize when I used this piece that I had put some adhesive on the back of this, and I didn't want the whole thing to be sticky. So let me show you how you solve that little problem. But I do want to go ahead and I need a dimensional. Okay, these are not wanting to come up for me tonight. So I'm going to put a dimensional there. And then I'm going to put a dimensional right here. But this piece right here, this I want to stay sticky because it's going to attach here. But in between that, I don't want it to stick. So I'm going to bring in, I have some baby powder. So this is a good tip for if you get sticky where you don't want it. You just take baby powder and you just take a Q-tip. I'm almost out of my baby powder. And you just spread the baby powder over where it's sticky, and it's not sticky anymore. Voila! You guys are getting a lot of tips tonight. And then we can just flip this over. And this is going to actually sit about right here. And then I'm going to take, oh, you know what? That was my bad. I forgot I needed to double up on the dimensionals. So let me pull that back off. My bad. I was like, why isn't that sitting straight? You have to remember, if it needs to be even with this one, that we've got to double up again. So we're doubling up. I hope you guys are enjoying these cards. And I'm giving you some tips that maybe you knew and forgot about, or you didn't know about, that will help you in the future. Okay, so now we've got it level. So we're going to bring that down. Sorry, I've got to kind of hold it up so I can make sure I've got this on straight. Yeah, this card is a lot prettier in person. It's so hard. I'll bring it closer in just a second. It's so hard on camera to really see how pretty these things are. Even like Susie and I just went to convention and we were watching on a big screen, the demos, like demoing it. But then we would walk over and they would, after they got done with their demo, they would put it on a board. And when we got over to the board, sorry, I'm going to trim this little piece here. When we got over to the board, it was much prettier on the board than watching them live do it. So, yeah, it is a little more challenging. Now, you could put a dimensional under there. I just didn't think it needed it. And then I'm going to come in with some basic pearls. I'm telling you, I'm pulling out all the stops with this one, right? We're going Avid tonight. Oh my gosh, that literally just stuck to my fingernail. Okay, let go. So we're just going to bring in a couple of, and you know, and the other thing too, Susie, is this designer series paper actually uses both real red and cherry cobbler too. So you're right, this designer series paper is great for beginners because of that, because you don't have to, as long as you have cherry cobbler or real red, and as long as you have either old olive, evening evergreen, soft succulent, or shaded spruce, you're good to go with this one. Okay, let's see if I can get it closer to so you guys can see it. What do you think? So that's our Avid card. Isn't it pretty? So, I mean, there's so much texture and so much going on over here. And then there's the inside. So, yay! Guys, we did it! Okay, so that was our Avid card. And this was our casual card. And this was our simple card, which I did in the autumn colors. So again, part of my purpose was learn how to fuse together with other sets that you have. Yeah, it's kind of heavy, Susie, but it's mainly because of the wood pieces. But I mean, you could still mail it and it would be fine. But I wanted to really show you guys how to, you know, think outside the box. Think about taking a set that Stampin' Up! Has even said, hey, here's a Christmas set, but hey, let's make it fall. And then, you know, and then like I said, I brought in the Charming Sentiment stamp set. I brought in the Merriest Moments stamp set, you know, so I just used 3 stamp sets together, you know, to create these cards. Only because I wanted to change up the way the greetings look. I wanted to add some difference. So I hope this will inspire you guys. Yeah, the Avid one is really elegant, but I hope I inspired you guys to really look at the sets that you have and figure out, like, if you're buying new sets, how to combine them with some of the sets you already have to create some really fun and wonderful cards. That's, you know, that's my whole purpose, is to get you guys using what you buy. It's so important if you're going to purchase stuff that you actually go and use it and figure out how you're going to put all of them together. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you being with me tonight. I hope that you enjoyed this. And I know all of you have been in suspense on my big announcement for Black Friday. So I am going to do it tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. On this site, on my Julie's Creative Stamping Facebook page. So I will let you know what is going on for Black Friday for me. I have a really fun class coming up, and then I have some other things that I'm going to be doing on Black Friday. So hopefully you'll tune in tomorrow and get the what's going on. So for all of you that have friends that have been wanting to know, for all you guys that are seeing who's on tonight. So if you see people that aren't on tonight that have been asking, what am I going to be doing? Make sure they tune in. I will be live at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning to let everybody know what my Black Friday sales are going to be. And this is for any of you watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, watching my replay, it will be on my Facebook page, which is Julie's Creative Stamping, is where I will be announcing my Black Fridays. And I might go ahead and put it on YouTube. We'll see. But anyway, guys, I thank you so much. And again, please make sure you like, you share, all of that good stuff, because it really helps me to get out there on social media and let everybody see these wonderful cards that I did for everybody tonight. So be ready for my announcement in the morning. I know I've been leading up. I hope the suspension is worth it, or this oh, I can't even talk. This yeah. I know you guys have all been, you know, really wanting to know. So I hope it's all worth it when you hear what I'll be doing for Black Friday. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate all the comments. You guys really help me out. I love it when you guys put your input in and give me ideas as well. So everybody have a good night, and hopefully I'll see some of you at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's Mountain Standard Time. Talk to you soon. Bye.